Hey guys, in this video I'm going to test this PowMr charge controller to see if it can handle 60 amps. This is 60 amps version of course, and I'm going to connect this to my solar system. I'm going to reconnect outback power, disconnect this and the wire panels to PowMr, and we will see if it could handle 60 amps. In the end of this video, you will know why this test cost me $200 plus, and the test failed. So if you're interested to see why it failed, let's jump to the video and see what I did. To make all of these connections, I'm gonna use doubled 10 gauge wire. So one 10 gauge wire is supposed to handle 30 amps, so it's going to handle two of them, is going to be 60 amps. And I'm going to connect two wires for PV positive, PV negative, battery positive, and battery negative. Right now is evening, so my panels are off. Today you can see that maximum production was 298 kilowatts, and it produced 20 kilowatt hours a day. So I'm just going to reconnect panels, and tomorrow morning we'll come back and see how it works, if it's going to perform as it promised in specs. Alright, so I came back in the morning and I see that solar panels voltage is 99 volts and watts 0. For the battery is 51.1 volts and 0 amps. But actually right now this charge controller is charging the battery. If we look at the status, output is 4.0 and 4.0 is MPPT mode. So it works right now. By some reason it doesn't show amps and watts. I don't know what's happening, but if we check with multimeter, if I go on the battery positive side, so we're charging with almost 15 amps right now. I try to debug this, so I disconnect batteries, I disconnect solar panels, connected batteries back through resistor, so it doesn't have like this spike going into MPPT. Then do same with the solar panels, connected solar panels through resistor to make it like charge slowly, but still I tried multiple attempts to restart this device, it still shows 0 watts. I'm gonna continue test. It's just we're going to check amps with this clamp meter. So 14 amps, we'll come back later. At about noon it's going to be 60 amps. So next update right now it's about 11 AM and I can see that PV voltage raised to 118 volts. Something tells me that this MPPT stopped working or it's not working full power. Let's just take amp meter and see. So on the DC side we're not getting any power. We're just getting like a few amps, few milliamps. Same here. So by some reason it did stop working, and if we go to output it still says 4.0, which is MPPT, and we don't have any error codes. If we go to the settings, we will see that our voltage set to 14.5 volts multiply 4 is going to be 58 volts. D04 is still lithium batteries. Indicator shows that we are charging, but we are not. Okay, so now it's charging 3 amps. Let me try to restart this device. I'm going to disconnect solar power. Let's do this first. Okay, so PV input is 0 now. Now I'm going to disconnect batteries. Okay. 30 minutes later, it's 11:30. Now let's test what is the battery amps right now. So we're charging with 37 amps. It feels like this device just overheating and reducing this output. When I'm touching this, most hot part is the back of this unit, but let's see what is the temperature. So terminal's pretty cold. So back side of this unit is up to 114 Fahrenheit. For me, it looks like this device is just overheating and reducing this production, and here's why we see like this disconnection. Okay, let's run test for 1 more hour and we will see where we are. Right now it's 12 p.m. and again output is just 115 volts, so looks like it stopped production again. And if we look at multimeter, it's just like 14 amps. So if we go to settings, we will see that we are still in MPPT mode. Temperature is 50 Celsius. Let's try to use compressed air to cool this device down and see if it's gonna help with production. Okay, so we're just getting 11 amps and it's 12 p.m. so sun is giving like full output, so I should see about like 3 kilowatts, which is going to be about like 60 amps. But at this point I'm going to stop this test. In my case it doesn't make sense to continue this. And the final piece of this video is the tip of the day. Learn from others' mistakes. So what I just did, I disconnected the relay, which is right here. So this relay is responsible for disconnecting solar panels from MPPT charge controller, and I disconnected positive item, which is controlled by BMS, but I left negative connected, so it's right here. And I was passing this wire, which is supposed to be like completely disconnected, through this case, metal case, and I touched this metal case. So what happened, you can see that this power traveled through this connector right here, and this is went to my charger BMS. So my BMS right now, it's cooled down a little bit, but it's at about 145, 147 Fahrenheit. Yeah, even 150. So it burned BMS. Then I went right here, and all wires which is going to BMS was like super warm, and I have active balancer there. Luckily active balancer survived, it didn't burn this part. But tip of the day is always disconnect all relays, all power when you're doing any rewiring in your system. So this BMS cost me about $200 with a relay. I'm not sure if relay survived, but now I have to buy new BMS. Okay, so here's a quick tip of the day. Just a final thought, I understand that I might got a faulty unit, but in my case it's brand new unit. I never connected this to solar panels. I just did few reviews connecting to power lab supply. It failed for me. I'm not gonna test this anymore. Thank you for watching and see you later.